The infamous Spank Me cutscene is one of the most known pieces of cut content in Bully, only appearing in the Christmas trailer and is never seen in-game. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, here's a snippet from the trailer.
Love is such a beautiful thing. Oh, spank me!
So I'm going to analyse the two deleted clips. Also, sorry if my voice is a little bit off in this video. I've got a bit of a cold, dry throat and stuffy nose. Okay, so on a very quick glance, I think this is going to be part of the beta intro to Chapter 3. I believe this is the beta intro because, well, aside from the intro cutscene to Chapter 3 where Jimmy and Petey are playing darts in the boys' dorm, no other cutscene takes place inside the boys' dorm. Plus, it's within Gary's character to snoop around, so it wouldn't surprise me if Gary overheard Peanut's plea for him to help Johnny, and then Gary comes in and starts making fun of Johnny and Lola, which would explain why he mentions young love and then acts out sex, because he probably knows Lola is off with another boy. Another thing that backs this up is the Christmas decorations in the background. And Christmas decorations are only seen for the first 2 in-game days of Chapter 3, and then they're gone. However, Bully modder DeadpoolXYZ has actually found the full cutscene of this. Kind of. The majority of the cutscene was deleted, and the only part that remains is the camera panning. No audio, animations, or characters exist in the cutscene anymore. This is what you're seeing on screen at the moment, and I do have permission to use this, before one mindless idiot assumes I copied this as well. So what mission was this going to be? Well, it's actually part of a deleted mission in Chapter 4, known as The Paddle, where Jimmy would actually steal a paddle from Dr. Crabblesnitch and plant it on Damon, and then he'd get a photograph of Damon with the paddle and tell Dr. Crabblesnitch, who would then summon Damon to the office right away and proceed to paddle him. Audio files for Dr. Crabblesnitch in this mission still exist, where he asks Miss Danvers to identify the student, which is most likely Damon, with the paddle. According to DeadpoolXYZ, the cutscene would only feature Jimmy and Petey before Gary comes along. Now, what strikes me as odd about this is why there are Christmas decorations when Chapter 4 actually takes place in spring and not winter like Chapter 3. In fact, another part of the trailer actually shows a very small snippet of the Chapter 4 intro where Petey tells Jimmy he's a jerk. And if you look at the older trailers, you can see some Chapter 3 mission cutscenes, but they're not set in winter. But if you look closely, you can see the blockade to New Coventry, so it's highly likely Rockstar used some script to load up the mission just to record the cutscene, which is possible with mods like the Super Mod. Could this mean that Jimmy originally fought the jocks in Chapter 3 instead of the greasers? Or would winter have actually carried on until Chapter 5? Now, I don't know if Deadpool force-loaded the cutscene to play at Christmas or not, but it's still rather interesting to think about. If you wish to view the full cutscene without my annoying commentary over it, click the annotation on screen, but as I said, there's no audio aside from Spank Me, which Deadpool added in. So from this new information, I think we can do another analysis. I think the cutscene featured Jimmy and Petey plotting about getting revenge on Damon for trying to bully Petey and Jimmy, when Petey mentions something about Crabblesnitch's paddle, as Petey tends to be a thinker, whereas Jimmy just assumes fighting is the answer to everything, when Gary comes along and mocks Jimmy and Petey for being a gay couple. Well, while he never mocked Jimmy for being gay or feminine, he did mock Petey for it quite a bit in Chapter 1. So I'm going to assume that Gary mocked Jimmy and Petey for saying Jimmy wanted to spank Petey with it or something before leaving. It's within Gary's character to do something like that anyway. So that's my analysis of the beta cutscene for The Paddle, or the Spank Me cutscene, or whatever you want to call it. If there's one thing you can learn from this video is that things can be very deceiving. Like how just looking at the footage it seemed like it was a beta intro to Chapter 3, only to learn it's actually a Chapter 4 mission instead. So that's my analysis of the Spank Me cutscene, and thank you for watching.